allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you there, Wayne? Okay, you started the meeting. Did you want to call Mr. Stage?
Here.
Mrs. Drew Snyder? Here. Mrs. Myers?
Here.
Mrs. McGovern? Mr. Reiner?
Here.
So we definitely have quorum. We've not done this always consistently, but do we want to dispense with the reading of the minutes from our last
I
meeting?
move we dispense with the last meeting.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So that is what we will do, unanimously accepted the minutes, to dispense with reading. At this point, we welcome you, and I would, Chris Bender and Ted Rouse, just so your name is in the record, and do we need an address on them as well? No, okay. So, please,
We are Chris Bender and Pat Roush. We are property owners at 211 and 215 Highland Avenue. First of all, we feel like we agree on one goal. We all want the best for Williamstown. We hope over our years with the restaurant, residents have seen the commitment from us. Every choice we've made has been with the best interests of our town, our employees, our business. This year was to be the 40th anniversary of Da Vinci's. We went into this year with big goals to celebrate in a huge way. And to end the year with expansion plans to take us to the next level. In March, everything crashed around us. We've been lauded for surviving successfully, but in all honesty, we're just surviving. We've missed the huge business times, Mother's Day, graduations, summer catering, holiday parties, the times that kept us not just surviving, but successful. Our employees and our business are treading water now. We must look forward to life going back to normal, but we will never get back this year. We so appreciate all those who have supported us this year, but it has been the most challenging year we've had financially. In a usual year, there is a huge demand for a catering facility where we can serve up to 200 people. We're counting on getting life back next year, and we want to meet that demand in Williamstown. We want to provide that facility where everyone will come enjoy our food in a large...
Excuse me for 1 second. We have 2 people without masks in here.
I have medical.
Well, you'll have to leave.
You have to leave.
Unless
You
you
can't
want
have
to show
anybody
your
here
medical.
without a mask. I'm not
I
sitting
don't have
here.
to show it, that's by law.
I'm
I don't
not
have to
sitting
show
here
it.
Well, I'm
People
telling
without
you,
masks.
you leave.
Is there any way to go on record?
Yeah, go on record. You can't go on the record and say I was here.
I'm not going to catch you COVID and somebody can't wear the mask. So.
I'll leave.
Okay.
Forget it.
Please.
Yeah, I take a picture, show everybody was here. I need evidence.
Yeah, you can show them. Yeah.
You
All
should
right.
do whatever.
It's against my rights. You
Please
just
leave.
broke the law.
You can also write your
Whatever.
statement. You can also
What's your
write your
opinion on
statement
this matter?
and send it in to the city.
Okay,
Thank you.
we have 2 people here without masks and they were asked to leave.
I'm not staying here without masks.
I'm not either.
No, it's not fair.
Okay.
What are they-
Okay, one of them is saying he has a medical
Okay.
and that he violated his rights and asking him to leave.
He's going.
No, he said that he doesn't have to provide it.
I'm sorry, Chris.
I'm sorry we interrupted.
Okay, okay. Okay, all right, hold on, just making sure. He doesn't feel that that was unreasonable to ask for it in writing. Okay, we're back.
If he wants to indicate that he was here, And also what his position was, can he not write that and submit that to us so we hear what his position was? I don't know if they're still outside.
I think New Warren wants to. Go ahead with the meeting.
Yeah,
I'll let
stop.
him know, thank you.
In a usual year, there's a huge demand for a catering facility where we can serve up to 200 people. We are counting on getting life back next year, and we want to meet that demand here in Williamstown. We want to provide that facility where everyone will come enjoy our food in a large group setting. We also hope to attract tour buses that will stop at our restaurant to eat. The 5 gaming machines we're proposing in a closed, discreet room that will have no impact on a big facility. The gaming room will be the size of a very small bedroom, behind closed doors. But those 5 machines will help finance this facility that is so sorely needed. We have asked Williamstown to consider a variance to allow 5 gaming machines. We understand the 150-foot rule regarding the distance between establishments with gaming machines. However, according to local lottery investigator Skip Chain, the state of West Virginia has changed how they measure the distance. It is no longer a rooftop to rooftop measurement. So what I'm saying is the state of West Virginia made a rule. And in October of 19, they changed that rule. I'm asking Williamstown, who made a rule, to look at it and maybe change. Please. And I understand once you make a rule, it's hard to go back on it and say, oh, well, if we change the rule for her, we've got to change the rule for everyone. Please look at it and see that the state of West Virginia can do it. Williamstown can do it as well. It's not just a, please just investigate it. Don't just, fly by the seat of your pants. As of October 2019, the state recognized that no one actually walks rooftop to rooftop. The measurement is now made by walking out the front door, down the sidewalk, and into the front door of the building in question. Using that state-recognized method, we will be outside of the 150 feet stipulation from the nearby establishment, which also has machines. We respectfully ask that the city of Williamstown use that same method of measurement in consideration of our variance request. That's all I'm asking. 5 machines that will help us continue to employ even more people, pay more taxes, make the best decision for the good of Williamstown and our business. Throughout this entire economic devastation, we have not let one employee go. We have continued to support all of the local charities that we have supported all along. We have continued to pay income taxes to the city of Williamstown. We hope you see that we have poured our souls into doing what's best for Williamstown. Our wish is that the city respect that and back us by giving us the opportunity to keep growing. I personally have been here with Da Vinci's for 36 years. I'm not going anywhere. I heard a rumor lately, or most recently, that we were moving. We're not going anywhere. We are personally vested. We have quite a few years here and quite a few years to go, hopefully. I'm committed to Williamstown. We are committed to Williamstown. I simply ask for that same level of commitment in return. Thank you.
Thank you.
So does the commission do the commission members have questions they want to ask at this point?
Do you have a copy of our ordinance? How ours reads?
I did it one time. I'm not sure if I have it with me right now.
Well, we don't do it from rooftop to rooftop. It was straight line.
And it's 1,000 foot, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I'm just asking you to.
We can be within the state guidelines.
Right, we can be within the state guidelines, so I'm just asking for that same. I guess I was just trying to make a simile, kind of.
Okay.
Other questions?
I don't really have any.
So, referring to the ordinance itself, states that the proposed use will not enlarge or encourage the development of a district or geographical area in which there is a proliferation of gambling and or video lottery. So how can you assure us that the addition of this gambling room will protect and improve the quality of life here in Williamstown?
Well, first of all, gambling's it's a choice. It's recreation by choice. I'm personally not a gambler, but there are a lot of gamblers, and it's just it's going to be a great feature to our project. I mean, we're going to have pool tables, a couple pinball machines, maybe some darts, maybe some cornhole, you know, some other things for people to do when they come. You know, there's been a lot of things going on the internet about this, and we don't really understand why people are so much against us, because we are trying to do a first-class facility and to make it all brand new, to make it, we've never had any problems with any law enforcement or anything in our establishment. She's had alcohol for 40 years. She runs a tight ship with no citations. You know, we don't put up with any of that crap. That's about it.
So there would only be five machines.
Right.
10 by 10 room is a very small area compared to a 40 by 80 building.
Is that to code with the state on how many machines and how much space?
Well, you could get up to 10 machines if you want to go to like
A
if you want to be
fraternal.
a fraternal, if you want to.
But we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that. Okay. Our plans is to build the building, and on one end of it, put like a little craft beer, pool tables, lottery back in the room, then open big barn doors into this other big, huge facility where the seating is going to be, and the restrooms and everything else will be in the other part of it. So we can open it up at any time. You want to have a wedding.
But if you look at one of
Birthday
these
party.
other places, it's just a 10 room.
Yeah.
It's a gambling place. That's not what we are proposing. We're not proposing a 10 by 10 building with gaming. You know, we're looking for a lot more than just.
Just the gambling. We're not
Right.
looking.
Yeah.
Will
Right,
the new building contain a kitchen or?
No.
No,
Okay,
won't need to with the restaurant right there.
okay.
So that, yeah.
But we'll be
we'll
offering-
cater food
Well, yeah,
Right,
we'll
from
be
the
offering,
restaurant.
yeah.
Right.
food.
to there.
We'll do package deals. You know, if you want to get married, you want
Right.
200 people, feed them, use our building, you know, drink,
Right.
whatever you need there. It's going to be kind of a full service for any kind of party you want to have, really, retirement parties, company parties.
Handicap accessible, which we do not have that right now.
So when there aren't receptions or whatever, what would be happening in there?
There'll be people in there drinking beer, playing pool, playing darts, gambling if they want to gamble by choice. It'll be open all the time. But we think we can, there's been so many people wanting this room, wanting us to be able to see 200 people. You know, not always 200 people,
Yeah.
50 people, 75 people, 100 people.
Right.
You know, different class reunions. I mean, there's just all kinds of things we could do if we do this.
You mentioned that the presence of the 5 terminals would help to finance the larger banquet hall. what are your expected earnings per year from that gambling room? Either thinking of the terminals, the 5 as a whole, or for each, I don't know.
We don't have any idea. We've read, we know what
Other places
all the
around.
other places are doing.
Okay, so based on that, what is your expectation?
Depending on how many people we can get, I mean, what we can do with it.
We just know that a couple places around us are number 1 and 2 in the state of West Virginia.
And what are they bringing in per year with the 5 machines?
It's been a while since I've looked at the,
Without the
and it would be
numbers, I'm
month.
not real sure.
Yeah, I don't wanna quote and be
Don't misquote.
yes, exactly.
What are you going to need to get out for it to finance what you're planning?
What are we gonna need the room to do?
How much are you
We
going to
don't-
need that room to
We've talked to the bank about financing the room. We're almost 10 years into our loan. We're just gonna do a second and do the room and add it into the Da Vinci restaurant and hope it all works out. I mean, that's what
Yes.
our plans are. It's gonna be a very nice, building. It's gonna look really good back there. It's gonna be a big asset to this community.
how are you hoping to deal with the concern about congestion at the intersection?
It's no more,
I wouldn't change it.
it's no more, yeah, no more now than what it is.
You wouldn't see that it would increase it.
No,
No,
not at all.
It's a mess in there.
yeah.
Mhm.
I can agree with that.
Mhm.
But it's not gonna get it better.
No.
Other questions?
Any questions, Andy?
I have one, and I hate to bring this up. Do you own the property where the wetlands are on?
Yes.
Okay. What's your understanding of this? I just read this, and I don't know how to answer without going to contact the state. They refer to this 1,000 feet horizontal property line to property line by straight line measurement. And you just mentioned someone's name, the lottery inspector or lottery person, about how they do the distancing and how it's done by. You refer to rooftop to rooftop.
We're not planning on anything with the wetlands to do with this building, if that's what your question is.
I know there's been a lot of,
These
No, no,
are
no.
two different,
I know, I didn't want to get into that, but
Yeah.
there's, this thing talks about property line, this is the state of West Virginia. Okay, hold on just a second. Make sure I'm quoting something here.
probably the closest one would be you, would be the Eagles, isn't it?
correct, but they're,
We've already had the lottery there and they've already put a stake to where we can put it.
yes.
We'll back up, because I'm, under the mask, so I'm not getting all the, so what was this? In terms of.
Closest one to them would be the Eagles.
Oh, I see the closest one of the other lottery.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was, we were within, we've already been staked out where we're good, and it would not,
For the state.
At the
Yeah.
state level.
correct, correct.
So it would be 150 feet from.
Correct.
From the, okay. I don't know whether they measure the front of the building, back of the building, into the building.
Property line.
Front door
And
to sidewalk, sidewalk to front door.
Okay.
That's how we are.
Mike Myers.
This is how.
Martha.
Martha.
Martha,
Okay.
go ahead, Blaine.
I could perhaps give the commission a little bit of context and guidance. I think I couldn't hear everything, but I can hear it well enough. There are two aspects of matters being discussed. One is obviously be within 1,000 feet of state highway, on other establishments. I'm not particularly familiar, but assuming that's the case, the use could not be permitted under the ordinance as it's written. However, the ordinance vests the planning commission with the discretion to waive the spacing requirements, and that's discussed in subparagraph C of the ordinance. And to do that, if the planning commission makes a decision one coming either way, it should, I think, make findings in writing. I don't think you have to do it tonight. You can confer and publish them within some reasonable time. If you see those criteria, there are 4 of them. Now, I think the last 2, 3, and 4 are not an issue. There's no question they're going to deal with parking requirements. Paragraph 4 they comply with all other ordinances, state law, and presumably they would do that because they weren't complying with the state regulations. They wouldn't get their machines in there anyway. So really, we're dealing with paragraphs 1 and 2, which talk about a finding proposed use will not be necessary, not be contrary to public interest or adversely affect the value or enjoyment of nearby property, and that the spirit and intent of this section will be observed. The second one is proposed use will not enlarge or encourage development of a district or geographical area in which there is a proliferation of gambling and or video lottery. Those are pretty broad descriptions, and I think those are within the commission's reasonable discretion. You can consider anything that you think is applicable. Consider what's around this area. I think we consider the context of how it would be used. For example, what I call the city perk places that are kind of just standalone. That's about all they have, as opposed to other types of places where the gambling machines are really incidental to a larger use. The best example I can think of is J.P. Henry's, which is, as you know, a very large restaurant, and they have a small area near the front that's very unobtrusive. So it's a completely different context than just a standalone building. And you can consider how many other establishments are in that general area, and reasonable minds can differ, but you have a lot of discretion, and the commission can waive the spacing requirements or choose not to waive the spacing requirements in its discretion. But I would encourage you either way to put something in writing as to what the basis of your findings are, whether you approve the request or not.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lonnie.
At this time, I guess we would like to let the people speak. As I understand it, they can address it to us or to Chris Bender and Pat Roush. Okay. We ask that you state your name and address as you speak. And we are narrowing the issue to just this issue of the 5 terminals for gaming and gambling. So shall I go left to right this way?
Go ahead.
The lady first
Yes, please.
in the front with the blue mask. Yes, your name and address first, please, and then whatever your question or concern is.
My name's Elizabeth Fordyce, and I live at 449 Highland. I've been here in Williamstown about 10 years when my great-granddaughter started school here. I'm from Parkersburg, a native. I value Williamstown. I like living here. The people care about each other. It's a wonderful community. And I would like to ask if it's possible to have a copy of what Chris Bender read, because I couldn't hear it all. Her plans and that sort of thing would be very valuable to have. I would appreciate that. Okay, thank you for the opportunity to express my input to Chairman Martha McGovern and the Williamstown Planning Commission regarding another proposed gambling facility in Williamstown. Webster's Dictionary, this is just going to take a couple minutes. I'm not a politician. Webster's dictionary defines gambling to bet on an uncertain outcome. Take a chance. To risk by gambling, a hazard. Travis Wusso, General Counsel and Vice President for the Public Policy at the Southern Baptist Ethics and Religions Liberty Commission, told Baptist Press the changes in the predatory drug and gambling industries are alarming. He further stated pastors and church leaders must see this challenge for what it is and be ready to step into the gap for their communities and oppose the expansion of these industries in their states. This was taken from the December issue of the Decision magazine, page 17 this year. When we allowed Bibles to be taken out of schools, the presence of God was no longer there. We have created generations that don't know God. We have widespread erosion of standards. Have we lost our way? Why don't social problems go away no matter how much money we pour into them? God wants to save lives, not destroy them. Families do matter. There is more to life than a paycheck, and if it feels good, do it. Maybe we need a new vision for our town that begins with reconsidering the values by which our parents and grandparents lived. I grew up being taught and believing I am my brother's keeper. I went door to door for signatures amid the pandemic and busy Christmas cold, and still found the first afternoon out of 19 signatures for no more gambling places in Williamstown, only 2 refusals. One was a friend of the owners and did not want to sign, very nice about it, and the other one didn't want to put their name on a piece of paper. Now, 2 out of 19 is an overwhelming majority for no more gambling in Williamstown, no more facility in Williamstown. A total of about 40 signatures were obtained in 2 afternoons. It was pretty cold out there. Many people were not fully informed or aware of the issues. We've got the COVID, we've got social isolation, we've got Christmas, we've got a busy time. A total of 62 signed papers are going to be left here, if that's okay tonight. I have them. Regarding submitted from myself and others. There were some other people that passed papers around to be signed also. They're from neighborhoods here in Williamstown. There are many factors to consider regarding another gambling facility in Williamstown. When I moved up here, I saw all these places and I didn't really know what they were because I was mostly in Parkersburg. And I called the city office and said, why does this little town of Williamstown have all these gambling places? And the answer was, we get a lot of tax money from them that are what cost to the citizens. Do we want to exploit our citizens for revenue? There are many factors to consider regarding another gambling facility in Williamstown. We have new schools here. People want to live in Williamstown and put their children in the schools here. Will this continue? Property values. People can get on the internet and find out all kinds of things about communities, their health, gambling, all kinds of things, and they choose where they go to live. Crime. A variance for this project opens up our town to many more with no way to deny them. Maybe. Final question and observation, and this is because I don't always hear what's going on and I can't understand. This is for understanding. In the Da Vinci edition, which I have a drawing of here, I went to the city and got, anybody can get it. The drawing is vague on the proposed project, and it cites to host company dinners and banquets, bridal showers, weddings, business conventions, as well as other event venues. And it also notes the video lotteries is secondary, almost insignificant to the overall concept of the proposed project. The owners are confident the city will see obvious increase in revenue from the income generated by the project at what cost to citizens. And then, if I understand right, we don't know how much income the room's gonna bring in, or we don't have specifics as to what's gonna happen. The planning commission meeting on December 28th cites proposal full-service entertainment facility to include food, beverage, and gaming equipment. What exactly is the different words on the different papers being submitted to different commissions? What is a full-service entertainment facility? There are no plans showing in and out for the buses down there on that busy corner. This could be important information. The very best action could be for the owners of Da Vinci's to withdraw their petition for gambling, expand for the needed banquet facilities, and continue to enjoy their business and the respect of all the community they serve. You know, we're Williamstown. I sit here and look, Tree City, first in the state, B City, USA. We're not going to conform to West Virginia standards. We're going to be unique. We're going to be the city we've been. People caring about people. And I want to go on record and say, not one door that I knocked on did anyone ever say anything against the owners of Da Vinci. The only thing they said was, I'm against gambling, I will sign it. Thank you very much.
Ladies first, please.
Are these copies that we can get?
Yeah.
Can you take this?
He'll tell you.
She's got the shield.
My name, is Jennifer Stewart. I live at 112 West 4.5 Street. I've lived in Williamstown all my life. And I wonder if you all on the committee know that one person could lease property to put in and started building another gambling establishment. The city stopped it. Now, he had to continue to pay a lease on that property for 10 years. If you let one person, where does it stop? You let one person, or what are you going to tell the next person? They're waiting in line to see. Is this what we want? None of the people I talked to did. Did you all know that someone had been turned down previously?
Yes.
You did? But yet you consider, is this not a discrimination case against the city? What if this guy comes back and says, you discriminated against me, I want you paying the lease?
At this point, this is just an
That's
informational session, so.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
asking,
Yeah.
if you all knew that somebody else had been turned down.
Yes.
Did you all know it?
Yes, I know it.
But this is the process that we let the public air their
Well,
opinions.
I don't think the public knew about it.
Well,
Well,
that's
they
why
should
we're
have.
bringing it up at this point.
They do now.
Yeah.
Don't
So,
you think so?
I didn't catch your name at first. Would you say your name again?
Jennifer Stewart.
Oh, you're Jennifer Stewart. Okay,
Yes.
welcome. Okay.
And I just wondered, you know, this sounds like a lawsuit against the city. And what about the next person? Have we thought about that?
Yes.
Okay. I just don't think that our city wants to be known for its gambling. We've worked too hard for our town and the things that have been put in place. And there was a reason that code was put in ordinance.
Thank you. We appreciate your opinion. Now.
Okay,
Sorry, my mama raised me and she'd beat me if I wouldn't let
I
women before me.
appreciate it, right.
I'm gonna drop this because if I use my glasses, man, they steam up. I'm an amateur at this. My name is Jim Crawford. I live at 120 West 4.5 Street here in Williamstown. And I was listening to some of the stuff outside.
Okay, I'm sorry, we'll listen through your mask if you'll put it just.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
there
sorry.
you go.
All right.
Do the best.
If
Yeah.
not, I won't be able to see.
I understand, I will suffer with that too.
I did hear a couple things. I heard Chris. First of all, let me just push. I understand what you're doing. You're applying for a variance for, to apply. And I've read up on the law and I'm still getting smarter on it. And right now I got approximately 400 signatures against the gambling. And everyone, with the exception of a couple people, they have nothing against Chris Bender or Da Vinci's restaurant. It's against gambling, all right? And I'll keep those so we can give them to the city council when they, based on your recommendation, the way I understand it. And the measurements, I read in state law, like I said, I'm getting Mr. Blair be able to say it's closest corner to closest corner. So if they had the 40 by 80 building, it's 154 feet as a crow flies to the next property, and then it goes on because I got measurements here I went out and got, as well as all the ordinances for the state and city. And I know Jennifer brought up about the other one where they shut them down and stuff like that. And that worries me, but that's a city council decision. They got to be worried because they opened the door. I know Chris has mentioned all the stuff she's done for the city. Thank you very much. I know a lot of people do a lot of things. I've been on the fire department 28 years. I don't want nothing out of it. I do it because I want to help the city. I don't want to ask for nothing. So it's anti-gaming. It's not anything else that we're up here talking about. I love Da Vinci's and that stuff, and I hope their business grows and everybody at the thing. With all the other establishments in that one particular spot within a quarter mile of each other, we are getting a gambling district. We have two out by the Welcome Center that we respond to a lot. All right. I know Chris said that 5 machines is an insufficient amount of machines. So how could it really be an issue? Some of these other gambling places have 5 machines, so they're insufficient. But if it's insufficient, how is it going to pay for the building? Exactly how much revenue do you actually give the city from the machines? I still got that question down in Charleston. They haven't got back with me. But they're going to break down exactly how much goes in taxes and how much goes to the city, and they have to spend so much because they're a lotto place. We do support the businesses in the city. We love to see more, other businesses other than gambling. All right, that was Charlie thing. I was just worried about the legislation. If she would like to build something closer to the Welcome Center, I guarantee you that would be a big hit because the people coming and going through the interstate as well as the city, we lost a Subway and some other stuff. People are looking for other types of food quickly. And that's open all the time. That's 24/7. So that would be something she could look into other than gambling if she really wanted to do that. If Chris wants to help the people of Williamstown bring a vice that causes people to gamble and lose money, maybe become addicted, that's going to hurt family. That's going to hurt us as a city of Williamstown, the people of Williamstown that I love. Why not just build on the present building and use it for additional dining? Because when you go to Da Vinci's, it's been built up over time. She could add to it, use it for dining. She could use it for banquets with the collapsible walls. There's a lot of other issues. And I know when the committee was asking her, there was a lot of answers not being done. So I understand correctly, it's going to have some pool tables. It's going to have some beer. It's going to have some gambling in the corner. Sounds like a bar to me. 36 years of military. That's a bar. I don't want another bar. I don't want more gambling. I want restaurants. I want convenience. I want another store or something. And if the committee is willing to give the variance okay to the city council, I think this is just going to become more of an emotional type thing. It's out of the 400 people, like I said, less than a handful said, no, I won't sign it. And the people that did say, I know Chris, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a class act. Okay, that's great. So do I. I have nothing against her or her partner at all. I don't want no more gambling at that spot. I know Monda's building something. We have 2 over there. Why that spot? There's 6 other places, and they're cramped together. And according to your the current ordinance, the edge of her property right there at the swamp, that she told the women's club 3 years ago to quit using it, and I'm not gonna even get into that one. But that's where her property ends. That's where you measure 1,000 feet as a crow flies by the regulations. I just don't understand it. I want her to do good, but I don't want the gambling. And the other thing that's kind of struck a nerve with some people is, hey, she's done all this good stuff. People don't do good stuff for things coming back. They do them to help the people, and they don't want nothing back. And that's the way it should be. And that's how this community is. And I don't want to see my city be put in a position where we make an exception for one and we open the door for everyone else. Thank you very much for your time. Is there any questions? I'll answer. If not, I'll leave. Chris, I mean, and that's your property. I grew up in Texas. If you want to build a purple building, build it. But if you stop a creek on your property and the people below you are ranchers and they can't have water, that's where it becomes personal. I don't want the gambling down there. Crime has got bad. You can ask the cops. By the way, with the entrance, yes, we do go down there all the time. Is there an issue? Yes, it is. It needs to be addressed. Add more buses, add more cars, it's going to be a nightmare.
Actually,
Go ahead, please.
I'm sorry, were you not finished?
No, go ahead, please. Hey.
Actually, one of the other establishments tried to get, and I'm not sure if you're privy to this information or not, but one of the other establishments tried to get state roads to put in a light there. Do you remember this, Pencil?
Okay.
And it did not warrant enough. So state roads will not do it.
Well,
That is not something I can just.
I didn't know that, but what I'm saying is,
Okay.
is there accidents down there now because people are having trouble coming and going because of tobacco and your restaurant just happens to be right there? Yes. I've had personal issues with that too. And the way I was taught, you come up, there's a car need, you let them go, you go, then the next car. That don't happen all the time. People are on the little bubbles.
It's been like that for
Also-
40 years.
Yeah, and it's not right. And I agree with
How many do they have there a year?
But is it gonna get any better or worse?
It's probably gonna get worse, we hope, because
That's all I'm saying
we are
for
employing
consideration.
100 people, we're trying to feed 100
Families.
families out of there.
And I love the Legion.
We hope we get a lot more business.
Yeah.
Because we
And-
need it.
We had our banquet at the Legion, they got a big hall, and that didn't really kick up and stuff like that, so have you done a study that this is gonna be exactly what that's needed? I know that there's some places around here that are needing it, but is that the right spot? Is that the right size that you need?
Excuse
I
me.
mean,
We don't have to do a study, we own it, that's our place.
they were asking, and I was
studied-
asking you questions, sir, and that was it.
Okay, we've
So-
already done our study, yes.
Okay, well, I've done my
We're
study too,
spending our
sir.
money on it,
Good,
and it's our money. We're
well,
not
good,
asking-
you
we're
spend
not
your money,
asking-
sir.
We're not asking for anybody else's money, it's our place.
That's fine, and that's okay. But what I'm saying, sir, is I'm asking because of proper business, from what I was taught in college, I got a master's plus. You do studies, why? So you don't put yourself in the hole. You don't go belly up.
We've done our
Because,
studies.
well, I'm just saying, that's why I was asking.
I think we're given the
Sorry,
next
ma'am.
way to talk, that's a longer conversation, but I
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate what you
I got-
offered.
I've
Give me
got
one
one-
sec,
I have one more question for you.
That's two.
Where are you employed now?
I'm a retired military, sir.
Okay, what was your business before that?
What was my business before that? High school. I was in it for 36 years, but I
We're off
got 3
subject.
degrees.
Okay.
Okay, we're off the
Yeah,
subject, let's
okay,
get back.
okay. I think that's.
But what I'm saying is, doing that with, and then running the other things, I've learned over time. That's where you learn something every day. If you learn one thing every day, you become smarter. And that's what I try to do. What I don't want is, has there been an increase in crime and stuff with it? Yes. Is it big news? No. Why? Because the police department does a pretty good job keeping it low, because that's just how City of Williamstown has always been. We don't want to tell people outside the city what's going on.
Right.
And that's fine.
I need to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No
so
problem.
we get more people, but thank you
Okay.
very much for your opinion.
One thing.
Yep.
Actually, two things.
Okay, that's good.
The reason that I want it on my property is because I own property there, so I wouldn't go
Okay.
on the other side of town and buy property there and put it there. That's why I want it there.
That was
Number two, have the police ever been called to my property for problems? No. Have they been called to places around there? I run a tight ship and I do it for a reason. I have kids that I know who have been under 21 say, "Oh, come on, Chris, give me a drink."
I didn't
I'm just
imply
telling you.
but yes, there has been
No,
calls around that area. Not
Not
necessarily
at
inside the Da Vinci.
not at DaVinci's. No,
Okay,
no,
No,
thank you.
no,
Yes, ma'am.
check the records.
no,
I have, sir.
Has there been calls at Da Vinci's?
never.
Next person, and I'm not sure,
He came in next.
okay,
I got it.
please state your name and your address.
My name is Jay Stevens, and I live at 183 Doolin Drive in Boaz. I know some people may not think this is any of my business, but I work inside. I work as a crossing guard at Williamstown High School, and you know, my kids go here, and I go to your restaurant. And I hope you understand that no matter what these people feel, they love you, and they love being a part of your restaurant. And whether we agree with you or not, I hope that when all is said and done, we can still see each other at the restaurant and enjoy one another's company. I got some things to talk here. Fred and Pam Buchanan asked me outside if I would ask questions, and you could respond to them, and that way it's on video. The question she has asked is this. If you don't get the variance for gambling, are you still going to build your convention hall? You turned in a piece of graph paper that shows an oblong that's 40 by 80 with a corner that's 10 by 10, 10 foot by 10 foot. Where are the entrances, the windows in and out of the game room, and where will the infrastructure be placed, and the traffic in and out of that facility?
At this point, we will not build without the gaming. Are you agreeing? Just because of what's going on.
Yeah,
With
we
the
feel
gaming,
we're
we will
being-
proceed.
Yeah.
If you look at the local, I mean, at the state level lottery, the lottery numbers in Williamstown, and we feel that we can dive into some of that.
Question has nothing to do.
And we can help.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, was I?
The
I'm
question
sorry, I
has-
don't think, I
the
mean,
question
you can
has-
you can tell me to pass on this.
Yeah, well, pass on it because it has nothing to do with it.
Okay,
We know we got a problem getting in that.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
That's fine.
And the windows and wherever that is in it.
I was told I didn't have to do
Yeah,
that.
that's all,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
additional detail.
Okay,
We're dealing just
infrastructure.
with the.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
We weren't going to do the actual
Plans.
architectural plans until we come through this first hurdle. Once we do that, we will hire an architect to draw it all up to be state, county, and city approved.
Yes.
Everything will be done the way they want it done. I mean, that's the way we have to do it.
But we're not gonna invest
But
before.
we're not gonna invest before, it's kind of like putting the cart before the horse. We're not gonna do that
And when they get that, they will have to come back to a city board and
Right.
bring all this.
and be approved, yes.
Yeah, but right
Okay,
now, we're just talking
and-
about the setbacks. and all
That was one of the questions I have. If you do not get this approval for a gambling facility, you will not build.
At this time.
So that's, okay, that was just a, yeah, and
I'm
that's
sorry.
really beyond our.
All right.
That's beyond our,
I'm sorry, I'm asking on behalf of someone.
It's all right.
Yeah, I know.
that's not.
Okay, the next question is, if you, the planning commission, give a variance for this, won't this open our town up for more gambling facilities? Is this what we want Williamstown to be known for? And this is one of the things I was worried about was the Pandora's box, was if we okay you, and I wasn't aware until tonight about the other one that wanted approved and didn't get approved, but would this open up the possibility, if we say okay for Da Vinci's to open up this facility, would this okay somebody else to open up the facility?
I took a drive through this town.
There's really nowhere to go.
I took a drive through this town with eyes of trying to think, okay, be objective here. Don't be in the mind of, you trying to put this place in. And then I thought, and the place that came to mind was J.P. Henry's. When you walk into J.P. Henry's, do you know that there's gambling there? No, you do not. And that's what I want to happen at this place. It's not going to have Pat's Poker Palace on the side of the building and $, $, or one-armed bandit on the side of the building. It's not going to be even known. It's gonna be a well-lit parking lot, yes, but it's gonna be subdued. It's not gonna be like a 10 building and you know that it's City Park and you know that it's gambling. That's not what I'm aiming for. I'm looking for a class act kind of place.
Well, my thought was like this. If we okay you to have your facility, what would it not be to say that, I don't know the name of the fraternity order, the Eagles down there next to the convenience store, would they be okay to open up right next where the old convenience store used to be and have another facility there and expand there? I think that, yeah, that's what there's a concern. It's not necessarily because
That's not 150 feet though. We're going with the state guidelines. You have to be 150 feet.
Okay.
That'd be 20 feet, 30 feet maybe.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Next one, is there a limit as to the number, this is the planning commission, is there a limit as to the number of gaming machines allowed in a establishment?
Yeah.
Okay, and once you have given a variance, can the owners expand their ability to have more machines?
If we would become a
If you only become a fraternal organization.
Okay.
We're not.
Okay, and do all the gambling facilities in the town each only own 5 machines?
Okay. Most of them are 7 and 10.
Okay. If you are so-called a lottery room, will you access it from an exterior wall or from within the building?
Both.
Immaterial, that's immaterial. We're not getting into the construction of this building, okay?
This area is obviously in the floodplain. What kind of building are you thinking?
That's also, I don't know where those questions are coming from, but
This is from Fred and Pam.
that's exactly what I figured. Be
Okay.
careful about it.
Well, let me ask you some of these things. The one thing I'm concerned that you talked there in your article about how you never laid an employee off, and you're talking about this expansion, which is fantastic. And I would be curious, and I don't know if the planning committee has considered this too. Do we think that 5 machines is going to pay for this? Or is it going to be Da Vinci's paying for this? Okay. I'm sorry. The thing that I found interesting in your article, you say you claim that the people will come for your food, and you don't mention that buses have never come for your gaming machines. And I'm just curious, what are you asking for?
Asking for what?
Well, in your article to, I think it was the Marietta Times, in rebuttal to the gambling, you argued that people came for your food, and people came, and that's what I come for. And you made the argument. I guess there's a discrepancy about buses.
We were misunderstood in something else that we were talking about in a zoning board meeting.
Okay.
Someone said, you're gonna bring buses in for gambling? You're gonna bring buses in. I said, absolutely. I meant buses into the restaurant.
Okay.
They thought we were gonna bring them in for gambling.
Okay.
How can you bring buses in for gambling when there can be 5 people in a machine and there's 55 people on a bus?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Why would you have 55 people sitting there thinking people waiting?
I called Mr. Cannon and I started reading.
I'm sorry to interrupt this, but the
Okay.
focus is very, very narrow, and I know you have these additional questions. I think people know telephone numbers and emails and so forth, so you may want to talk further, but not at this meeting, because we're.
Okay, I understand.
But just in the interest of time and people who are waiting outside.
I understand. Thank you.
Outside.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I think the gentleman in the red coat was the next one in. Your name and address, please.
Well, actually, I'm just here to read a letter on behalf of Becky Morris. Okay, for the record, my name is Howard Rousey. I have been a part of this community for 42 years, either working here at the high school as a teacher and a coach. I lived here for 22 years. Actually, I don't live in Williams County anymore. But anyway, I'm here to read this on behalf of Becky Morris. Okay? I'm reading it for Becky, who lives at 103 Snodgrass, and she couldn't be here because of quarantine. Okay? And hopefully my glasses don't fog up so I can get this read. All right, this is from Becky. All or most of the negativity pertaining to the proposed new gambling machine seems to flow in the same direction. Gambling machines equal addiction. Not true. My husband and I used to go to Vegas at least twice a year. We would go to Wheeling Downs and Cross Lanes and yes, to gamble. Some spend their money on beach trips, Disney, camping, etc. We enjoy gambling for fun. Were we addicted? Heck no. Many say we have enough gambling places in our town. I wasn't even aware of some of them. So what and who do they hurt? I haven't been in any of them, but I like the fact that I have the choice. Gambling machines do not create an addiction. It is an individual's personal issue. I guess next it will be there are too many bottles of alcohol in the liquor store, possibly create an alcohol addiction, or there's too much candy and cookies and pop in our stores promoting diabetes. I'm sure you don't like to drink. I'm sure that if you don't drink, you don't go to the liquor store, and if you don't like machines, you don't go. Chris Bender has given and given and given to our community for years. I personally thank her, and I will not turn my back on her when she needs my support. I can't believe that 5 crazy machines could stand in the way of Williamstown becoming bigger and better. Chris needs this variance. Williamstown needs this variance. Please support her as she has supported all of us. Becky Martin, 103 Snodgrass Lane, Williamstown.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rousey.
Hi, I'm Lee Flynn. I live at 419 Poplar Avenue. I think this has gotten off track, too emotional. I think what we really need to look at here for the community is the financial side of it. I've had the privilege of helping Chris, I'm an accountant, working with her through this COVID process, how she's dealt with keeping her restaurant open. It's been very difficult. You can imagine the impact it's had on her financially. Yet she has not laid off a single person, nor has she failed to serve food by delivery, sometimes not charging. I mean, I can't tell you how she goes above and beyond for her customers. It's astounding to me how she does it. And so when I look at her dollars, when I look at her money, the sales tax revenue that she has paid since 2013 is pretty astronomical. It's a good hit for the finance, and Williamstown getting 1% of that every quarter or every month. And I've done some investigating on the machines. First of all, I don't feel 5 more machines, we're talking 5 more people, is a significant difference in with the vast number of what's already here. How could 5 more, and what that revenue would, you can't possibly expect that convention center to be full all the time. So something has to subsidize the payment that will be due on that. I mean, to me, it's completely economical. And what she'll bring in to the city, real estate tax. Her real estate tax is going to go up. That money goes to the schools, to these schools, helps this community. She already pays a huge amount of real estate taxes there. And adding a brand new building is going to definitely raise that real estate tax base, so there's more money there. I can't get a real feel on my investigating of how much revenue one machine will produce. It's spoke of in percentages clear across the state. Their average is one machine can produce $180 a day. Now, what town, if someone's actually sitting there all day long, it's hard to say. But if you look at that in dollars, $900 a day, $27,000 a month, what the city will get in taxes from that revenue, because the state is charging 35 to 49% tax versus 6% tax on sales tax. The gambling tax is 35 to 49%. So again, I'm not educated enough to know if the city's portion would be higher than 1%. That wouldn't be, they would still just get 1% of that revenue. What?
The gambling is broke down by population, so what's made here doesn't really stay here.
You don't get a percent of that at all in
Not
sales
as
tax.
gambling money.
Is that
Not
right?
as gambling money.
But you would then generate revenue from her sales.
We would still get some money off of it, but.
The 1% off of that, yeah. And an increased utility and a, I mean, again, it's cash flow. Chris will probably be really mad at me for this. If I were her and she doesn't get this option, Mondo's often offering hellacious deals on his property down here. They approached Dustin with a deal, willing to cut rent, willing to give him real deals on the land. You know, do you want her going there? I don't know if that's in city limits. Is that revenue?
Yes, it is, city limits.
It is?
Uh-huh.
Well, then, you'd still get it, but the variance wouldn't be there if he offered her something like that. But again, she's a hub, has been a hub. And the donations, we went through her donations. They're $40,000, $50,000 that she gives to the school, to every athletic program. Never hesitates to give them a check when they walk in the door. Everybody that comes to her that wants a donation, she's writing checks. She's very generous with her funds and has completely supported this town. Not only with cash, you see her at every Relay for Life serving food. I mean, she doesn't just send out her people to go make money for herself. She donates her time, she donates her food. I just feel like she needs the support of the town when she's done so much for the town. So, that's all I've got to say.
All right, I appreciate that perspective.
I guess I'm Rosie Scott. I live over there at 601 Columbia Avenue. And I've mulled this over, and honestly, I am kind of embarrassed that we're fighting her on this. I really am. Based on all the things she does in this town and bends over backwards anytime anybody asks her for anything. But while I cut to the chase, everybody's up in an uproar about 5 more machines. 5 machines in a space 10 by 10, about that big. Not as big as your living room. It's about that big, right there. That's all it is. It's not going to bring all this riffraff and all this stuff. It doesn't do that. That's not the people that go there. If you're going to call this gambling, and we don't want all this gambling in the town, you better do away with the 50-50 drawings at football games. That's gambling. You better do away with the raffle tickets the cheerleaders sell. That's gambling. The Diamond Dinner, gambling. The country store, Relay for Life, that's gambling. It all is. So don't focus on 5 little machines because, oh my gosh, it's gambling. Somebody said, well, we're teaching our kids to gamble. We're teaching them every day right in school with the 50-50. All these things we do at school, we're teaching them anyway. So 5 little machines that nobody would have even known about had she not needed this variance is not going to teach the kids anything. And if I was her, I honest to God would pack up and leave this town. I really would. I would if I was her. And I'm really upset about this because I just feel like we're betraying someone who has worked so hard for everybody in this town and does cartwheels to do whatever we want, give us whatever we want. And we can't allow her 5 little machines in a space that big.
We appreciate your perspective, and we certainly appreciate what DaVinci has done. We're looking at the law at this point, so thank you very much for your perspective.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your name and address, please, and
Michael
state your
All.
question.
Michael K. All, 404 Poplar Avenue. And I don't know why we're here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I see nothing but good coming out of this. I mean, Chris, I've known her since, I don't know, probably 2nd, 3rd grade. And she took over DaVinci. She managed it for the Pettit. She done great. It was a gas station when I remember. and she's grown it, and she contributes to the community. She takes care of our sports teams. Anything we ever ask her, she is right there. Football teams, whatever. We pick up the phone. We say, hey, we need to feed them. We need to send them on a bus. She says, I'll take care of them. And you know, she says, I'm going to build this building. Maybe we can have the proms here now instead of going over to the Masonic Lodge. Maybe we can, you know, have class reunions. We'll have a sufficient building to hold it in, and which will all generate revenue, economic development for our town. You know, we kind of fought the Dollar General. It kind of built outside of town. I go there all the time. I'd rather go there than drive through all the lights in Marietta to go to Kroger's. I mean, this is the same kind of thing we're dealing with. I don't know what the problem is.
Okay, well, we're dealing just with the issue of the gambling machines.
Well, I think we gotta.
You're talking about the larger building, but this hearing is just related to the.
Does the gambling machines generate some revenue? Let her make a little revenue to pay for it.
Okay.
Let it offset it. I think we're missing the big picture here.
All right. That perspective has been shared. So.
Okay, well that's my opinion.
That's fine.
I mean, if it's been beat to death, I'm sorry, but that's just the way I feel about it.
Glad to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Chris Beck. I'm your head football coach at Williamstown High School. I live on Cooper's Lane. This is assistant coach Lee Larvin. He lives on Front Street there. So I want to come and talk to you guys a little bit about what Chris is trying to do. Sorry, it is what it is. All right, so the gambling machines, it's not a state ordinance we're dealing with, right? It's a town ordinance code. Goes up to state law. She can build these tomorrow. And we need to give her this variance. We need it so bad. Chris has done everything we've asked her to do this year. And I know I just heard Mr. Earl talk about that as well. She's donated the uniforms. I can go on and on. She gives, gives, and gives, and gives. These machines coming in is going to help Chris give more. That's what will happen. And you want to talk about changing lives. Our schools, our athletic programs change lives, young people's lives. And it's not possible without people like Chris. It's not possible without her having a thriving business. If you want to make a difference in people's lives, let her grow. Let her continue to grow and support our young people. Because you're going to hear a lot about gambling and how bad it is. And it is bad. Very bad. There's no question that gambling can be bad. But let me give you some stats on that. 97% of gamblers don't have a problem. I'm not one of them. But 97% of people that gamble do so responsibly. Less than 1% of adults have a gambling addiction. 7% of adults have alcoholism. But if we were putting in a bar or a grocery store, there wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be an issue. Nobody would be talking about that. But we're selling Johnny a 24-pack. Because it's gambling and it has this taboo around it, we have this conversation. You'll hear about crime and how it brings in crime. That's not true. It's not factual. Since 2001, this legislation was passed in West Virginia. You've seen Williamstown have 7 locations, I think now. Is it 7? Our crime index has gone down since then. You look at our crime index rate, it's actually gone down since we've had gambling machines. It's a third of the crime index of the state and a fourth of the nation. So if you look at the crime index, you have not seen that in Williamstown. You're going to hear people, you heard tonight, about property values. That's just not factual. It's not factual. Household values in Williamstown right now are $160,000 on average, according to Zillow. $160,000. If you look at Parkersburg, it's 98. If you look at Marietta, it's about 139. Vienna is 135. Even with us having 70 gambling machines in this town, our property values have not suffered. And in fact, they're among the best in the area, if not the best. It's just not factual. People are spreading myths and lies about what this does and what it's gonna do. Make sure I have my points here. So we're talking 5 gambling machines, already have 70 in the town. Small potatoes, really. We tried to say that Williamstown's a great, great town. But to act like these 5 gambling machines are gonna break the camel's back is just a fallacy. We have 70 in town already. Put that in perspective for you. There's about 6,700 in the state. About 6,700. Little Williamstown makes up over 1% of the whole state's population on video lottery machines. As a population, we make up 0.1 of the population. We already have embraced gambling in this town. To say we haven't is not factual. 70 machines. 70 machines, which by the way, in fiscal year 19, brought in $33 million in Wood County. $33 million for payouts. Number 1 in the state. I'm not sure you should be proud about that or not, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So these machines, I think, are going to help us continue to provide a good education for our kids, give them a great environment to play athletics. You have a generation now that needs athletics, needs academics more than ever. I deal with them every day. And the only way you're going to get these kids out and participate in extracurricular activities is to have successful programs that are supported by the community. 95% of Fortune 500 executives play high school sports, by the way. 95%. We want these kids to be out. For that to happen, these machines are going to help that. I know it's tough for some to connect the dots. And certainly that 1% of the adult population that has gambling struggles, my heart and prayers go out to them. Because it's real and I know it's real. But Chris has shown for 40 plus years, she's dealt with alcohol in a safe manner. Very safe manner. Never had interventions with alcohol. Never been cited. There's no reason to think she's not going to take the same kind of care of her gambling establishment as part of the larger venue. I know you guys don't want to talk about the other part, but heck, that's a big part. You got 3,000 square foot building, we're talking about 100 square feet. And that's why you have this kind of law, though, is to give variances to unique situations like this. And this is unique. Don't think it's not. We have a person who has proven time and time again they're going to invest in our youth. We have a person who's not setting up a city perk, 20 by 10 room with 10 gambling machines, calling themselves a nonprofit, and then funneling management fees to the owners, right? That's what happens. That's why you say you're a Legion of Guardsmen. That's why you say you're a yada, yada, yada. So I can get my 10 machines. It's not for profit, but I'm going to pay myself a management fee. I was in public accounting for a long time. I know how that works. Chris is being above the board here. 5 machines, I'm for profit. Very much above the board. I think you're really, that's why you have this. I really believe that's why you have these committees and hearings, is the law's written for all the right purposes. We don't want to have things within 1,000 feet of each other in town. I get that. But that's why you have these committees, is for these exceptions. And if anybody's an exception to this, it's being what's the business proposal we're seeing tonight from Chris and Pat. Because it's going to reap and reap and reap benefits for our young people. And I firmly, firmly believe that. I know it sounds crazy, but I think it's factual.
Thank you. Very well
Thank you.
presented.
Thank you.
Paula, do we still have Lane?
Lane, you still there?
I'd like to ask him a question.
Okay, we have a board member with a question.
Legally, is there any difference between a restaurant with gaming machines and a business that is just gaming?
Did you hear that?
Not real well.
Just a plain gaming place.
There's no difference under, as far as I'm aware, under the state law, which authorizes these things to be placed in. I think, so what, it's not a factor that prohibits it or authorizes it one way or the other. I think it's a factor that the commission could consider
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Most everything you've heard from people tonight, positive or negative. I mean, there's, as I say, the ordinance gives you broad discretion, and I think collectively, you all can take into consideration all of these things.
Okay, that answers your question.
Not an easy decision, I understand.
Okay.
Okay.
Just go?
Yes, please.
All right,
State your name and address, please.
yes, my name is Fred Sorrow. I live on 103 Kibler Lane. And I've come here tonight in support of Chris and Pat. And what I'm doing, actually, is I'm reading a letter from our principal, Jason Ward, okay? Now, Jason can't come out and say, this is from Williamstown High School. Jason is the principal, and he's speaking as an individual, okay? And he gave me permission to read his letter, and that's what I want to do, okay? I've had the wonderful opportunity to work with Chris in my role as a principal, as she serves as a partner in education for Williamstown High School. I wish to speak on behalf of Chris's endless generosity and tireless amount of work she has given to benefit this wonderful community throughout the years. Whether it be catering sporting events, fundraisers, teacher appreciation meals, or any of the countless activities that go on during the year, around from the middle of high school. Chris has always gone above and beyond the call of duty to provide the best services possible. Even through countless last-minute requests, she always makes sure to provide the best experience possible of whatever the event might be. We have sat in business meetings, partners in education meetings, and collaboration, and she never hesitates to ask if there's anything more she can do to benefit our kids. And while I will leave any business ventures that anyone would bring forward to the Planning Commission's discretion, I just want to be able to thank Chris for her hard work, integrity, character, and passion for our school and community. I truly believe she holds the community and our children in the highest regard and wishes to serve both in the best manner possible. Respectfully, Jason Ward, Principal, WHS. All right, I want to do that. All I want to say, and I'm going to make this brief. I know you've heard a lot of commentary tonight, and what Chris Beck said was, wow, that was amazing. That was very, very good, I thought. And I think we have to look at this from a very broad perspective. You know, being a coach for all these years, one thing you learn how to do is not develop a narrow perspective, but rather a broad one. And what is the greater good here? And I think the thing that she wants to do is something that this community needs. You think of the numerous, gatherings that we have with weddings. We're talking proms, we're talking class reunions, we're talking all that, and there's really not a place to do it, and that would be perfect. And the cost of that is small compared, to get that venue here, I would say, and I'm really thinking that we need to see the big picture, and that's really not much. I think it's almost a no-brainer. That's something, that I think we have to do. We're in the middle of a pandemic, okay? Small businesses are folding up all over the place. She has kept her people employed. They have kept, that restaurant going. They didn't fold. She didn't lay off one employee. She found things for those people to do when they were doing takeout and all that. She has helped numerous teams at our school. I know for us, in our banquets, I know we go upstairs and we've done it the last several years up there. And, and it's small, where, she goes out of her way to make it affordable for everybody. And, she does so much for young people. And then one other thing that I don't think anybody's mentioned, the many, many kids that have gone through our high school that have gone down and worked at conventions that Chris has hired. Now, you might think, well, okay, get a kid a job. But you stop and think, you're dealing with the public. I see these kids, and they're kind of shy and a little bit backward and not sure of themselves, and they lack a lot of confidence. She holds them accountable, she makes them work, and she helps them grow up. She's done as good a job as that as anybody in this community. I'm telling you, she has done an outstanding job, and in my opinion, I think it's a no-brainer. I appreciate what she's done for the community. Why would we not want to promote growth and development in Williamstown. I know,
Thank you.
I know, but
Thank you
about
very
the
much.
gambling, but I just wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Yes, you did. Thank you
Thanks,
very
Brad.
much. Very much. Name and address, please, and
Hi.
then your question or position.
I'm Amanda Brown, and I live at 500 West 4th Street. And I am for Chris Bender's establishment, and I'm a different generation. I'm not very good at public speaking yet, but I see it as I want to be a business owner. I worked at Da Vinci's for 7 years, and there has not been one time that she has not pushed me to do more in life, to be a better person, to engage with people. And when I first started there, I was really shy. I'm from Marietta, so I didn't know anybody. Now I live over here, and I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people are for it, but they just haven't came out to stand up for her. And I think that with Chris and Pat doing what they've done with Da Vinci's since 2013, since they've owned it, I think having the gambling club would be a great idea. And for someone my age, I would like to have a safe place to go. No offense to anybody, but the other places I do not feel safe at whatsoever. I will not go there. But if it's at Da Vinci's where there's lights in the parking lot, people are always there, I would love to go there and have a place to hang out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Darren Vinegar, 1188 Williamstown Pike. Last time I talked was an FFA speech. I've worked for Chris and Pat for 13 years. Wouldn't want to work anyplace else. She gives everyone not one, not two, 3 chances. I think a lot of so many things that got off topic, like she said the gambling joint a couple seconds ago. It's not about that. It's about a couple machines in a hidden away spot. There's a couple other ones in town. Yeah. But I don't think that's the main question here. I mean, it's a small town, but a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes. She's got numerous awards, but the generosity she has to her employees, money that comes out of her own pocket for things they need, that doesn't go on the books, I think that needs to be taken into perspective. And I think we just need a big banquet hall. Sure, we have tour buses come in, not a casino tour bus, they're tour buses. A lot of elderly folks, you get 55 people on a bus, you want to have 2 full ones at the same time, you can't squeeze them all into one room. You need a hall that's big enough for them to fit in. So we're looking for it, and that's what it's all about.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Respect you
Thanks,
guys.
See you there.
I think the gentleman on the bench in the back.
I know you guys have heard a lot.
Okay, your name and address, please.
Dalton George, 438 Victoria Avenue. I know you guys have heard a lot. This just kind of gives perspective as to who is requesting the variance tonight. Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Dalton George. I'm 25 years old and have been a resident of this town my whole life. I currently own and operate a car dealership in Marietta, Ohio, along with being an assistant wrestling coach here at Williamstown High School. I want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for allowing us to come out, voice our opinions this evening. It really means a lot. I'm here tonight on behalf of Chris Bender and Pat Rouse to show my full support for their variance request. Da Vinci's been operating for 40 years now, with Chris Bender being at the helm of those operations for nearly 30 years. This restaurant has produced thousands of jobs over the course of its life. I would almost guarantee everyone in this room, everyone on Zoom right now, knows at least one person that has been employed by Da Vinci's at some point in their life. Whether that was a summer job in college, a summer job in high school, or a 40-year career, Da Vinci's has always been there to provide for the community. Over the years, they've supported the following: Williamstown Fire Department, the Canales, contributed to Christmas lights in years past. They're very active with the academic boosters, athletic boosters, band boosters, and they have always supported the Relay for Life. Chris was extremely active with the Williamstown Improvement Network, otherwise known as WIN, the first 5 years when they broke ground, which was part that funded the new football weight room facility the track team uses as well, and other nice additions. Da Vinci's has held countless fundraisers for practically anyone who has ever asked for help. In the words of Chris Bender herself, quote, "If anyone ever had their hand out, I always gave something. I never said no to anyone." During this pandemic, we've all watched restaurants suffer and in many cases close their doors. Da Vinci's, however, did not lay off one single employee. 75 families, again, Da Vinci's provided for. In fact, Da Vinci's had to recreate their business approach to meet the demands of the market. Online ordering, catering service, delivery service, with the possibility of even creating more jobs for the community. With the restaurant business being at an all-time low, owners are fighting to keep their heads above water, to keep the doors open. But in this case, it's different. The restaurant that has been serving our community for 40 years is looking to expand. You guys are well aware of the 40 by 80 building with a 10 by 10 lottery room in the rear of the building that would hold 5 lottery machines with a separate entrance. These machines would drastically increase revenue to help fund the proposed expansion, as we all know will cost a major amount of money, as a state-of-the-art facility is being proposed. As we all know, there's a few other places that you can stop and play lottery machines in Williamstown. In fact, one individual who is not from the Williamstown area, does not work in Williamstown, has nothing to do with Williamstown, owns multiple lottery establishments within city limits. Yet their contribution to the community is practically non-existent. Da Vinci's has served this community by any means possible over 40 years. With that being said, I'll leave you with one last thought. We must take care of our own, especially the ones who have taken care of us so well for so long. As the late great John F. Kennedy once said, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past and present are certain to miss the future." Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dalton. I think the gentleman in the blue.
Hi, so I'll be brief. I know everybody's, there are a bunch of people outside that are watching this on Zoom, and I know a lot of people around the community out there. It's been well documented, Chris's generosity in the community. I don't think 90% of the people in this community would not dispute that whatsoever. I'm sorry.
I need your name and address.
Mike Flanders, 433 Columbia Avenue. I assume all of this will come down to, we all know what a great person she is, and the business speaks for itself. I was in the hospitality restaurant business for 40 years. I know how hard it is, how generous she's been, what she's meant to the community. I'm impressed with Dalton George. 25 years old. That's pretty good. I know he's a good wrestler. But 5 little video poker machines. I don't like them. I've never put $1 in one of them. I never will. But this is still America for a while longer anyway. And these people have a business to run, and 5 machines at the end of a nice building, which I'm sure it will be, to help her pay for the building and to expand business in this community and raise taxes for this city. Small price to pay, I think. If there's ever, it's going to come down to whether you're going to grant the variance or not. Excuse me, depending on what you decide. If a variance has ever been warranted, I think this is the case.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Mike.
State your name and address, please.
Bob Bender, Chris's sister, brother. 613 Caroline. I hope it's not been decided yet, but I hope that, because it kind of, opposition seems like it has a motivation. And that would mean that there would be other, if this doesn't happen, there's some other 1, 2, or more pop up somewhere else. And that money, it seems like if that's the case, that money would go somewhere else, to Columbus, Chester, or wherever. But, and I know my sister's ethics and motivation, and it seems she has the right, exactly the right, she's doing the right thing. But I don't need that. But, and I think it's warranted. And there's different reasons why it is. Instead of a stoplight, you have different entrance, possible different entrance, safety. That's a safety issue. But I think it's very warranted, and I hope that you hear everybody and what they want.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Is that it?
Lord.
Is there anybody else that wishes to
That's
speak?
all.
Are they just hanging out there?
Everybody's got something to say.
That appears to be it. That's it? Okay.
That's it?
So, we will not issue make a decision tonight, or state that, but next week, January 4th, Monday, 7:30, same time, same place, we will issue a written statement with our decision. So you're welcome to come back to hear that at that time. But we'll be working with, discussing it among ourselves and working with the lawyer for the wording so that it's clear and accurate in relationship to the ordinance and your request. So we appreciate your willingness to come forward and explain what your thinking is, and certainly you've heard how much you're appreciated within the community and all that you've done.
Thank you.
So.
Alrighty, well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you
If you
very
guys have
much.
any questions at all, you can
Or-
contact Chris or I, we're available.
By phone,
By phone, or
we appreciate
be
that.
happy to come back up, talk to you, whatever we need.
Okay.
So I do have one question. So you talked about that the building would also have a bar and cornhole and such. So the building will be completely staffed at all times?
Oh, yes.
The building will be completely staffed?
Yes.
So this is not just for the
No.
the people that come to
Yes.
events?
Right.
Yes. Which would create
So
jobs
do you have
at all times.
what's the area? Do you know approximately the area that will be taken up by the bar that will be open all the time? Because that's kind of a separate entity from the banquet hall.
We've done some different measuring. We're probably looking at maybe 35 foot of bar area with pool tables, and then with the remainder of the 80-foot building into the. We plan on barn doors and having the bar to where if we open the barn doors, they can come in from this side and use it. Just kind of use it all as one big. There's several different options we're looking at, but everybody likes the barn scene, with weddings and
But they would need to be able to access alcohol as well, so that's why we are.
right.
So there'll be an entrance for the bar that's separate from the banquet entrance?
Yes.
So actually, the bar will be like here, and then there'll be like big bar doors
Yeah.
open.
Right.
You
But there'll be
slide
two
them,
entrances.
and then you have
Right.
a big, huge facility.
Right.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's it.
All right, we appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Thank you very much.
You have a great evening.
You too. I don't, is this?
Is there a restroom in this building?
What? Is there a
Do I have to use
restroom?
No. No? Okay. Thank you.
Do we adjourn at this point, or are we discussing, or?
So Blaine, okay, everybody is gone and they told them we're gonna re-meet on Monday. So can we just adjourn the meeting or what is?
Thank you very much.
Are you opening up the one on the 4th to everybody too?
Pardon me?
Are you opening up to everybody
Right.
for the 4th too? No.
I don't,
That's just the reading, isn't it?
That's what they desire. They wanna like get their thoughts all together and then have you help them with the wording of it. Okay, all right, well,
Does the 4th, now do we have to open this up to everybody again?
now when you reconvene on the 4th, can we just reconvene and then give the decision?
It's an open meeting. I mean, it's.
But we can't let people in here.
No, but I mean, what,
Okay,
to the public, you can't say they can't come.
okay.
But we would just read the decision, that would be it.
Yeah. And again,
You're gonna start all over again. Okay, all right. Thank you, we'll get a hold of you. Thanks, Blaine. Now, he said, yes, you can just, adjourn your meeting now, if that's what you desire to do. You all can, like, get with one another or pass notes or whatever you wanna do to share your feelings on the matter. And when you come up with something, you get a hold of Blaine and have him put it in legal jargon, and then you all will have an opportunity to review it and make sure that's what you want. And then when we reconvene the meeting on Monday, there's no need to open it back up to the public forum. You will just give them your decision.
Yeah.
but we can't keep the door shut, right?
Well, anybody can come in and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you
I
can't
mean,
shut
limit.
it, but they'll have to limit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't, it's a public,
Cause it's a public meeting, you gotta let the public in.
yeah, you have to.
But you can't let any more than 2 or 3 in.
That's right.
Right.
Because of
So
COVID.
our decision will go and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll be here for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But this will, then the decision will be in the newspaper as well, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know, are we being
available?
zoomed or recorded or something?
Are
like
we
that?
being recorded and whatever now?
Pardon?
Yes, we're still recording. You haven't adjourned the meeting.
Meeting's not adjourned.
So, could I ask for a motion for adjournment?
I move we adjourn.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Unanimously.